I'm back again to introduce Hubertus, who is going to be talking to us about merchant adoption. There's a problem with Bitcoin that has been delaying merchant adoption, and Hubertus has a solution for us. So welcome to the NAKA stage.
Thank you for an introduction. So, okay, thanks. I guess there is a clarification needing before we start off this. I'm a Bitcoin maximalist, yeah, so which I define as somebody who believes that it's absolutely important that the base money supply of a good hard currency is fixed, invariable, can't be touched by government, can't be touched by anybody, but we must be aware that it's a social consensus. So that's my personal definition of a Bitcoin maximalist, and of course the conviction that it's going to be Bitcoin which will be the future world currency. So just to clarify that, because I'm also an economist, so what I'm going to say now may confuse many people, because there are a lot of narratives around here, because I would say the existence of economists / entrepreneurs in the scene is rather low. So there are some economic angles which we need to think about. Why? Because we're all kind of wondering, when is Bitcoin going to be really broadly adopted? Which means not only for store of value, not only for some financial shenanigans, but really in the real economy, for the companies which have to produce the things which we drink in the morning, which we wear on our clothes, where we live in the houses. Why is that not happening? That's the question. And depending on the answer which you're giving to this problem, and there are several, you will notice a problem, and only if you know the real problem, you will be able to solve it. Now, there are lots of theories in the space of what's the problem. Some people say, oh, the blocks are too small, the block time is too long, we need more education. Everybody should study at least 5 hours, if not 100 hours of Bitcoin, and then Bitcoin can be adopted. Maybe, yeah. Other people just say, oh, we just got to wait. Yeah, we wait, and then Bitcoin's going to be adopted. Now, in 2015, I made a decision, or I theorized, also in part of the Austrian School of Economics salon, which we hold in Vienna at the Hayek Institute. And we realized that there's something substantial missing in Bitcoin, which makes it absolutely impossible that Bitcoin can ever be adopted in the real economy in a serious fashion. And that's what we're going to talk about today. And by the way, this is not really new. It's not new to Austrian economics. We always said that. And Satoshi said it, right? 5 weeks after the launch of Bitcoin, so we are talking 200,000 Bitcoin only created at the time, he said he doesn't know how to make Bitcoin a money proper because there's nobody to adjust the money supply. You need a central bank, and who wants a central bank? No serious Bitcoiner, I hope, wants a central bank. But if there was some way to do it, he said, I'd have written it. So that's the missing part, and I'm going to talk about it today, not with some fancy economist's word, but we're really going to take it bottom up. And a very preferred method for Austrians who like to deduce everything from the fact that man acts is a so-called Robinsonade. So if you imagine a person living on an island, there's nothing else. Or if you want, think, what's the guy with the ball? Yeah, Wilson, yeah. So one of that. But our Wilson has company. So just imagine that once upon a time, there lived 3 families, yeah, in a very remote village in Ruritania. Ruritania is this country, if you're not allowed to mention any specific country because the police might come after you. And we do this because if you had only two families, we would be able to do barter. Yeah? One produces that produces that, so they barter. Easy. 3 families, it looks already difficult. They are remote because we don't want to have all these complications of foreign exchange. That's for another talk. And Ruritania, yeah, we just love it. So each of these families specializes in a trade. There are the millers, who are the bakers and the planters of rye. There are the tailors, who plant flax and they make the clothes for these people. And then there are the sawyers, who log trees and ultimately chop them to firewood, so everybody is warm in winter. Ruritania is cold in winter. So here are the millers, yeah? So they plant rye, harvest, thresh, mill, bake, and they sell the bread. That's very important, for 2 coin. Each of these families, by the way, has 4 coin. Yeah, can you imagine it gold? Can you imagine it Bitcoin? Doesn't matter as long as it has a fixed supply, whether because of natural resources or whether because we all decide that there should be no more base money than 21 million. 4 of each of those. So let's look what happens once he's harvested this all. So everybody has to pay, has to pay 2 coins, which move over to Mr. Miller. You guys with me? Good. Let's look at the next one. Here's Taylor. Taylor plants flax, picks, spins, weaves, cuts, and sells clothes for 2 coins. Let's do that. 2, 2, 2. So these guys have 6 coins. Sawyer has none. Now it's Sawyer's turn. Yeah, it's winter's coming. Think logs trees, barks them, saws them, dries them, chops them, and he sells firewood for 2 coins. Let's do that. 2, 2, 2, 2. And we can see, perfectly circular, we are back to where we started. We have a happy village. Everybody's celebrating the end of the year, and they can go on doing that forever, ever, and ever. So in a static economy, a fixed money supply is just fine. So, no. So this is the next year. So obviously Mauritania is a very nice country, so there's some settlers coming by. But however, there is a problem if settlers come by which don't have money. Because how would they pay for bread? How would they pay for clothes? So they will send away any families which don't have coins. So when there's population growth, let's just intuitively say for a moment there's some problem. Why? If there's a fixed supply quantity of money. No, wrong way. But now let's assume 3 settler families come and they also have 4 coins, which is fine. So you double the population, you double the money supply. What could go wrong? Right? Let's look. So we also do something which every modern economy does if you have more people who specialize. So the plowmans, the first family, they specialize in the planting of the rye, harvesting, threshing, and the selling. It's only a half-finished product. We call it in economics a second-order good, if you've heard that before. And they charge 1 coin for each lot of grain, because they only did half the job. The other half of the job is going to be done by millers. They mill the grain, they bake the bread, and they sell the bread for the full price of 2 coin. So let's see what happens. Plowman sells grain. He charges 6 coins, but miller only has 4. Yeah, so let's see what happens. So we have 4, but these 2 guys are clever. Yeah, we're in Mauritania, everybody's pretty intelligent. So they say, hey, Miller, you will need to give me bread when you finish baking. So yeah, against this future bread, you don't have to pay me further coins, so you get the 6 lots. Now, here you can see he has to get a bread, and Miller owes him a bread. Now, Miller can bake his 6 breads. He can sell 4 for 2 coin each. Let's do that. So 2, 2, 2, 2. And now he has a lot of money. Miller keeps 1 bread for himself. Plowman gets this future bread so that he's equal. You with me? Yeah. Let's go on. Division of labor. We're continuing. Now the cottons take over the flax trade, so they plant it, they pick it, they spin it, and then they have yarn. And Taylor obviously needs yarn. He weaves it and cuts it, makes nice clothes, and sells it for 2 coin. See what happens? Taylor needs 6 yarn, but he only has 2 coin. And we know, okay, that cotton could say, okay, I'll give you 2 more because you're going to give me my future clothes. I want to be clothed. So let's see what happens. 2 coins here. He gets 4 coin. But now we get a problem, haven't we? Because he needs 6 lots, but he only has 4. So what to do? So there's another lesson here when we advance from a self-sufficient economy to a trading economy with industry, division of labor, modern, prosperity, with higher order goods. Then money demand rises. Yeah? Very few people appreciate how much money demand changes over the years and even within the year, before Christmas. So let's do one thing. So we're going to have deflation. We reduce the price. Yeah, that's what Jeff Booth says. We're all going to have deflation. Everything's going to work fine, and we're going to be so rich. No. Let's see. So Taylor now has these 4 clothes, and he gets 6 clothes because we just had deflation, right? So He sells 4 of these clothes for 2 coins each from the four families which have money, keeps 1 and gives 1 to Cotton for the yarn which he received. So now we have a situation where Taylor is, so to say, the richest, the woodworkers have none. But the poor woodworkers need to do something. Well, I mean, they can talk, and Sawyer can say, okay, I give you your firewood for 2 coins, but we just decided we're gonna follow Jeff Booth. Yeah, we're gonna have deflation. So the price of firewood is just down to 0.33 coin, because there's not much more around about that. So what happens next? Sawyer now can produce from the 6 logs the firewood for the 6 families. He keeps 1 goes to wood, and he gets 2 coin from everybody else. So here we go. But now wood is bankrupt. Yeah, he's gotten out of this with nothing. Next season he can't buy bread, he can't buy clothes to clothe his children. Game over. Lesson number 4. With a fixed money supply, 21 mil Bitcoin, producers of higher order goods are highly disadvantaged, because in a modern economy, division of labor and specialization is impossible. Good morning, so to say. Let's forget Jeff Booth. We just sell less. Yeah? So our friend, price stays 1 coin. So Cotton says, sorry, Taylor, I only can give you 4 yarn. Okay, what happens next? Taylor now produces only 4 sets of yarn. And he can sell only 2 cloths, because 1 he keeps for himself, he doesn't want to go raggedy. 1 he has to give to Cotton, and 2 he can sell, because only to Plowman and Miller get 1, because they can outbid the woodworkers, because the price of cloth now rises from 2 coin to 3. We have to decide in the economy who gets it on a free market principle. We can't just, force people to get it. So they pay 3 coins. So the crazy thing is, all of a sudden prices start to rise. And our woodworkers, of course, will go in rag. Here he is raggedy. So lesson 5, when money is too scarce, production will slow down. Goods will become scarce, the price will rise. So the prices of our cloth just has increased by 50%. That's the alternative. So wood can now sell only 4 logs, because he has 2 coins, and he will have future wood to pay for. So he can sell 4 logs at the price of 1 coin each. So he gets Sawyer's 2 coins, and grants 2 coins for future firewood. Here's the firewood. He now has 4 coins. Sawyer has nothing. So Sawyer now sells only 2 firewoods, because he keeps 1 himself. He has to deliver future firewood to wood. And what happens next is very interesting. Nobody wants to freeze, but there's only 2 sets of logs. So who gets it? Of course Taylor, because he has 6 coins. And between those 2, both have 5 coins. So the seller has to decide, it's a free market, and decides to give it to Miller, let's say. Yes, so let's see what happens. 5 coins from Miller go to Sawyer, 6 coins from Taylor go also to Sawyer. He has 11 coins. We exchange the firewood, and Plowman and Cotton have to freeze. It's not very nice in Ruritanian winter. They get -15, -20 degrees, like in the Czech Republic and in Austria. Not saying that Ruritania is there, but... And the other thing which has happened is Miller and Taylor are now bankrupt. Yeah, Miller can't buy raw materials, and Taylor has no money left either. So they have to leave the village. Our village is bankrupt, so this is how the village looks. Everybody's leaving, goes in rags, freezes. So prices lose meaning. You get a complete crazy information system. Prices are information. So the information is completely distorted if you just have a fixed supply of money. Even though, and I already said that, I believe strongly, I know, base money must be fixed. So, of course, wrong direction. Of course, we now have an uprising in Ruritania. Yeah? So people say, market economies doesn't work, we must socialize production. Everybody should get according to their needs. We need Mr. Marx. Please vote. Who wants to join Mr. Marx? Come on, guys, no Marxists here. You moved. Well, the libertarians also, they kind of read this strange thing about Austrian economics, and there's excuse me, always the wrong direction. There's this funny chap from Austria who says, no Marxism, we want free markets, we want free money, and we want free banking. Not many people know what free banking is. So let's see what it means. Essentially, it means we issue credit money. Credit money is something very funny. You need a stock of money which is fixed, and then you create credit money, which is very easily misunderstood in the Bitcoin community because everybody has forgotten what credit money is since gold times are long ago. But free banking generates credit money in exactly the correct proportion based on market principles. Yeah, so let's see how that works then. Very important, just like Bitcoin has a consensus of certain rules, also credit money needs inviolable rules if you want to make it correctly. And there are many ways in which you can make it wrong. So first of one, you should never ever create credit currency out of thin air. You only create it when you are paying for real goods from the real economy. Third, only businesses traffic must create currency, and it must be redeemed in real coin, in Bitcoin's case on the main chain, once the credit money needs to be paid. So what we've seen before. Anyway, and last, it must be strictly, and it must be redeemed, excuse me, when selling for consumer goods. So this is just a business thing, and it must redeem strictly against coin. And the consumer thing is important because all of us are consumers, so we really understand consumption really well. And however, we think we don't really understand the shenanigans which economists have to go through with higher order production. So let's see what happens now. Plowman sells his 6 grains for one coin only, has only 4. So we transfer those coins over to Plowman, and the rest he pays with what we call an IOU for 2 pieces of credit money. Could be gold credit, could be Bitcoin credit. So here you see what just happened is that the economic definition of money supply has changed. We still have the 6 times 4 coins, which is 24 base money, but we just created 2 coins of credit money against which somebody has a debt and somebody has, but the economists kind of flip it up and they call the money supply the total of it. So you have a base money supply and you have an elastic credit money supply. So our friend Miller has these now these 6 lots of grain. He can bake 6 breads. He sells 4 breads for 2 coins each. Let's have him sell it. 2, 2, 2, 2. Yeah. And he keeps from himself, and he uses 2 of those coins to pay Mr. Plowman. Next thing is cotton. Cotton has to sell 6 yarn for 1 coin orange. Taylor only has 2 coins, so he pays with those 2 coins. And guess what? He pays with this IOU of 4 credits. Money supply has just changed to 4 credits. Yeah, so it's getting bigger. And if you flip it, money supply is bigger. Next thing, of course, Taylor now has 6 lots of yarn. He can make 6 sets of cloth. 4 he sells for 2 coins. 2, 2, 2, and 2. So those 2 guys have no money, and now he deals with cotton. So Taylor pays cotton for the IOU, so cotton gets 1 piece of cloth, which is 2 coin, and the other 2 he has to settle in cash. There go the 2, and the IOU, poof, disappears, because credit money always shrinks back to 0. It's nothing real. Gold and coin and Bitcoin is real. I mean, digitally real, but it's real. Credit money is transient. So now it's really a matter of belief. Somebody quickly want to change back to Marxism? Because he has no coin? No. Okay. Even our friend Wood, he believes in Austrian economics. He accepts an IOU for 6 credits. Money supply. Oh, 6 credits more. We got 30 money supply. This must be inflation, mustn't it? No. If you do it correctly. Now Sawyer has 6 lots of firewood to sell, which he sells for 2 coin each to the other guys over there. 2, 2, 2, 2. Everybody got that? And the next step, Wood gets firewood for 2 coins. He still owes 4 coins. The 4 coins go to Wood. And the money supply shrinks again back to 0. Miracles, huh? We're back to where we started in the first place. No inflation at all. We don't need Jeff Booth. Sorry, Jeff. And we don't need inflation. So that's credit money. So let's decide again. Who wants? Excuse me here. So anyway, this is how the village now. Not such much despair. They're fed. They're clothed nicely. They're warm. They have price stability. Their distribution of wealth is fair and equal, thanks to credit money. So who wants credit money now? Okay, okay. Lots of skeptical faces here. Okay, well. So everybody can leave who doesn't want credit money, please. Okay. You're still interested. Now, obviously, the question is, how do we do it? Satoshi couldn't find, as we saw, an algorithm to produce it. So how do we do it? And guys, this is going to be hard on you because there's so much narrative around here from technicians who don't like to think about business, who don't like to think about economics. You just think about technology and these technological problems. And there are some unusual things you're now going to hear, and you're going to hate it. But it's necessary if you want the economy to work. And this is not new. This is Austrian economics. We always said that. A stable price level and a high level of employment do not permit the total quantity of money to be kept constant. And Satoshi knew it. He wrote it. Yeah, it's just today many people don't know it. So why did he know it? Because it was the same in the past. There was coin, gold coin, and there was banknotes which produced this thing. Obviously, it was corruptible by government, so there were lots of shenanigans, which why many people don't understand how this works correctly. So you need the correct rules to work this. And the Bitcoin system, the missing system which we have, is we need, besides base money, we need credit money. Or we'll be in despair and hardship, or we won't be adopted in first place, which is what's happening. Not as money for business. So this credit money supply matches the money demand. So instead of a fixed place and a changing money demand, we now have a money supply, including credit money, which balances equally. So the value of Bitcoin in the end will be stable. That's the first thing which contradicts many narratives which we hear on social media by non-economists. But guys, that's it. And the other thing which is important in such a rule, so once we have a consensus to live on credit money, it's very important that none of us accepts any money which is created by fractional reserve. Only those two monies are free market monies, and everything else, be it mortgage banking, commercial banking, or government bonds especially, don't accept any money which is issued on any of those. No future value is allowed to create credit money in a Bitcoin system. You always need proof of real value, because to prove real value, somebody has to do work and produce real goods. The goods which we all need to consume and to live. So how does this actually work technically? Let's see, here's a seller of some real goods. He sells it to a buyer, he gets the goods and pays with IOU. We've just seen that in Ruritania. The next thing is, to make these things able to put them in a non-custodial wallet and pay with perfect privacy, you need to go to a BitCredit Mint, which is a piece of open software which everybody can go download. And the Mint essentially cuts this e-bill into Bitcoin-sized pieces of Bitcoin credit money. The seller then can use this credit money to pay his workers, and his workers and suppliers can pay amongst each other for months and months and months, and only in the end this matures on main chain. So this is actually already a natural conjoin without any authority being able to say anything, because it's not just for tricksters and for scammers and for drug dealers, if you don't like drugs. So in the end, this matures, and the Bitcoin which the buyer sends to repay, he sends to a special taproot address, which automatically exchanges the eCash tokens. So this is Charmian eCash, fully private down there, exchanges these tokens back to Bitcoin. Remember how in the end the guys always resolve the IOU? That's what's happening here. So the credit money disappears again. So poof, away. And last but not least, a very important thing, the rules of this system must be: don't trust, verify everything. Everything along this step can be verified. It can be verified what was bought, because the invoice must be attached in a cryptographic form. It can be verified how much the mint has produced. And the most important thing, and this is going to be a shock. Yeah, I'm a Bitcoin maximalist, so I'm saying the medium exchange is going to be Bitcoin. But a monetary system also needs a guarantee fund, as we call it in economics. And that's, so to say, I think the hardest thing to take, because we've been taught correctly there should be only one medium of exchange. But the full monetary system doesn't only need a medium of exchange, no, it also needs a guarantee. Like the IMF has special drawing rights, if we have economists here, so they have this special artificial currency which nobody really knows about much. And also this thing, nobody needs to know about it. The only companies which need it are those who want the mint, but it will be provable that these guys who mint Bitcoin credit money really have the funds to redeem the eCash tokens in case the buyer doesn't pay, which can happen. Yeah? Which is why the mint gets a fee, a minting fee, because they have to cover their operating costs, they have to earn profit, we all need profit, and they need to pay in case the buyers go under, which can happen. Historically, one of these things carried a cost of roughly 1 to 2% for a typical duration of 3 months, so we're talking 4 or 5% a year. So this is the thing, and here's, so to say, the mathematical proof why you cannot use the actual means of exchange for it, i.e. Bitcoin, why we need another token. Now, as I said, I'm a maximalist, so when we discussed this first time at Bitcoin Austria in 2015, we thought, oh, maybe we should do a name coin because it would help with certain things, but it kind of didn't feel right. So in a way, BRC20 yeah, which is really retarded, as my friend Giacomo says, but it's the only thing which works, and it is the first thing which we can put on Bitcoin, which can do this reserve token. So, why? If we use the medium of exchange, the base money, which has to be stable for a reserve asset, then the mints would draw it into their safes, into their wallets, just like the banks of old drew out the gold from the private holders, which is one of the key reasons, if not the key reason in my thinking, why the gold standard had to break. In the end of the gold standard, we really ran short of gold everywhere, which was the reason why bloody fiat money had a chance in first place. So anyway, if we did that, then the less Bitcoin out there in the open, the less elasticity. The elasticity would go away again, and after 210 million of Bitcoin credits, it's over, no more elasticity, and we go back to hardship. And we've had this in history. The last big time was the Great Depression, when the central banks in fiat, they can do what they want, these central bankers with money. They raised the interest rates, money supply shrank, economies tanked, production went down, people unemployed, drama. Yeah? You can't do that in a free market system because the minting rate will be the decisive factor where companies decide whether they want to create credit money or not. And the mints can decide what minting price they want to capture their costs, the default risk and everything. So, hard news, take it, leave. We will need another token. We are building that, so there's no way out anyway. And this will be what guarantees the system. By the way, we try to be compatible with Bitcoin. We designed it in just the same way in terms of distribution as Bitcoin. So there's 42 million of them. Get the joke? 21 million is half the solution. So we have the full solution. We complete the solution. This 42 million decline every quarter by 4.2%. Yeah, 2% is the answer for everything. And the epochs are 3 months, so anybody who contributes positive work, which is accepted by the project, gets these babies distributed in a proportionate manner to the work contributed. And it's the only way how you can get that. So there's a monthly voting, which contributions will be accepted. It's pretty much like BISC. Does anybody know the decentralized, the first? That was done out of Vienna anyway too, like Manfred Karrer and Chris Beams. So they kind of pioneered this method with the BISC token, which used to be colored coins on Bitcoin, 100 sats per BSQ coin. So this is very much early stage OG stuff once you use it in the proper way, without shitcoins. Now, this also helps us to find the future value of Bitcoin. I explained it already yesterday, bear with me, but it's very important to understand. In the old days, 10% of money was base money. So the total supply of money in the world today, the worth of money has nothing to do with the wealth of the world. No, it only has to do with the medium of exchange fluctuating. The best proxy for that medium of exchange fluctuating is the balance sheet sum of all the central banks in the world, which happens to be 44 trillion. So 10% of, from here on it's easy, yeah? 10% of 44 trillion is 4 billion. We have 21 million Bitcoin at the end. So if the whole world adopts Bitcoin, and I expect that, we can expect Bitcoin in the end to be $210,000 a piece. No financial advice, but so to say, economists thinking. The interesting thing is the guarantee level which we had in history was also 10%. So the 40 trillion of credit money which the economy will need must be guaranteed also by 4 trillion. But there will, in 130 years, there will be 1 billion of those tokens. So 4 trillion divided by 1 billion, you get $4,000 for these tokens which people get for contributing to the system. And the minting, as I said, the minting software is open source software. Everybody can download. Anybody who wants can open a mint and charge minting fees for it, which free businesses can accept or not. The historic rate for that was 4%, let's say. Could have been 5%. So 5% of 40 trillion, 4% of 40 trillion is, by downloading this software, you can do business. Anybody can do business with 1.6 trillion a year. So we expect lots of people to found mints, and particularly since as more mints come up, the EIU of original mints will rise in value, which is hopefully an incentive for people to found mint early. But the project also intends to build a reference mint where we show how it's done right without shenanigans and wrong creation of credit money. The idea is to start this in those countries which have bad banking, where companies cannot get credit, where inflation is high. So target countries are now Argentina, which happens to have an Austrian economist presidential candidate. Let's see what Javier does. Egypt, Turkey, huge inflation, prime candidates for this. And then there's some other little countries. So, yeah, for who liked it? You liked it. One person liked it. Okay. Yeah, so the website, it's still being built up. We only just launched the alpha version. It's ready, free for download. It's on bit.cr. That's kind of currently a mix between the community side and the one which will talk to businesses, because we will have to evangelize businesses, not individuals. And if you want to join the community, it's on Telegram.